I'm T-Pain from ImpatientProgrammer.net. This is PySide and PyQt Q push button and signals in 3 minutes. Signals are everywhere, from in traffic to girls playing with their hair and making eye contact with you. Don't pull me and just do nothing. Go over there and ask her on a date and then run away. Run away like a man. Right. Q push button is the most common widget in any user interface. You typically click this button to do stuff. And here we have a simple example. If we run it, it creates this simple pop-up with just a button, and that's it. Cool. So here we just create a push button, call show, and Qt takes care of the rest. This is the hello world example for Qt. No need to create a widget, window, or layout. Common functions. Set menu adds a pop-up menu when a button is clicked. Set icon allows you to set the button's icon if you so desire. Set checkable makes the button act like a checkbox. Set text sets the text of the button, and clicked is a signal for when the button is clicked. Note that many of these functions are not actually documented in the Q push button class, but instead documented in the abstract button class that it inherits from. So if you click on abstract button, you will see many more of these functions that I have just named. Let's look at a more complex example to see these in action. And before we examine the code, let's just run it to see what it creates. All right, we have a small window with a simple button that if we click does nothing, a flat button, which just looks like a label or a text until we click it, and then we see that it is actually a button. Then we have a toggle button, which we can click once to activate and click another time to deactivate, so it acts a bit like a checkbox. And then pop-up, which once we click, creates a pop-up menu right here that just says ham. Cool, let's examine the code now. First, we create a simple button that says ampersand simple. Note that the ampersand creates a shortcut of Alt plus the following letter to click the button. So if we run it again and press Alt S, it actually clicks that button for us. Alt F will click that button for us. Alt T will click that button for us, and so on and so forth. Next, we create a flat button, which makes it appear as a label until the button is clicked. We then create a toggle button by using the function setCheckable right here to make it act like a checkbox. Finally, we add a Q push button, which holds the pop-up menu when clicked. Finally, we add a Q push button, which holds a pop-up menu when clicked. Note that when you are pressing Alt S or clicking the button, you are sending a signal. So let's talk about that. A signal is an action that can actually trigger another function. A signal is broadcast whenever an action happens, so this could be the user mousing over the widgets, clicking on or dragging an item, or many other actions. So let's look at a signal in action. If I run this code, we now have a simple pop-up, and if I click it, notice that we have ham printing out. And that's it, that's all it does. Let's examine the code now. So we have the same code pretty much from the very first example with this function print ham added in, and then after we instance our button, we have a line that connects the signal of the button being clicked to the print ham function. And that's it. That's how easy it is to connect signals to functions. Excellent work, buddy. Exercises in the description. If you would like to see a practical application built from scratch, check out my tool development series linked in the description. Thank you to all my wonderful patrons. And as always, like, subscribe, and keep the dream alive.